Hivyo tunatarajia pengine familia wataweza kujitokeza.
Now to the diplomatic foxpus between Kenya and Sudan, where Sudan has expressed its dismay over Kenya's decision to host the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces group and other opposition parties. In a letter by Sudan's Foreign Affairs Ministry, Sudan says doing so means Kenya is complicit of plans by the groups to form a parallel government within Sudan's territorial boundaries. RSF has, however, denied the allegations, saying the meeting is only aimed at signing a peace deal and correct wrongs meted on Sudanese people. Sudan has since appealed to the international community to call out Kenya, a move likely to stir a diplomatic tiff between the two countries. Alan Ochanda reports.
A diplomatic row is simmering between Kenya and her neighbor Sudan following the former's decision to host the Rapid Support Forces RSF rebel group and other opposition parties from Sudan in Nairobi. Sudan has registered its dismay through a heavy-worded letter that has accused Kenya of disregarding its obligations under international law, the Charter of the United Nations, and the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide by hosting what they term a Janjaweed militia responsible for ongoing acts of genocide in Sudan. An excerpt of the letter reads, quote, "Given that the stated objective of this agreement is to establish a parallel government on part of Sudanese territory, this move promotes dismembering of African states, violates their sovereignty, and interferes in their internal affairs. This is therefore a clear breach of the UN Charter, the Constitutive Act of the African Union, and the established principles of contemporary international order," end of quote. The letter further reads, quote, "Furthermore, hosting leaders of the terrorist RSF militia and allowing them to conduct political and propaganda activities while they continue to perpetuate genocide, massacre civilians on an ethnic basis, attack IDP camps, and commit acts of rape constitute an endorsement of and complicity in these heinous crimes," end of quote. Although RSF and a coalition of Sudanese opposition parties announced on Friday they will communicate formation of a transitional civilian government, its leadership has denied Khartoum's claims of setting up a parallel government.
We are here not to form a government, not to form a government outside Sudan, not in Kenya, not elsewhere. When it comes to this decision of the formation of the government, absolutely we will go back to Sudan, where the Sudanese people will decide to form their government. But here, it is a facilitation, it is a convening area where we really want to get together peacefully and address the root causes of the problem.
RSF had recently taken over the capital city of Khartoum, but was recaptured early this month by the army. The group's leaders say the Sudanese people have been deprived of their rights and now want freedom, which can only come with a new government. While in Nairobi, they have pledged to give a way forward soon.
In the coming 2-3 days, absolutely the Sudanese people will discuss different areas, different principles that will unify Sudan, will bring peace to Sudan, will address the humanitarian challenges in Sudan. And therefore, we would like to extend our thankful and gratitude to the people of Kenya, to the government of Kenya, who indeed historically inviting and welcoming the Sudanese people to negotiate, to get together, and to solve their problems.
An Act Sudan sums up with a distress call to the international community, saying, quote, "While the ministry calls on the international community to condemn this hostile act by the Kenyan government, it affirms that it will take all necessary measures to redress the balance," end of quote. Sudan's outcry threatens to taint Kenya's credentials as a regional arbiter and peacemaker as it reels from its recent AU loss, which was partly blamed on diplomatic miscalculations. Alan Ochanda, KTN.